All right, we were like a day or two off. We thought yesterday was going to be like a really lull day. Today was more so the lackluster day, if you will. What's up? My name is Schiller. I've been talking about NFTs for a while. Today is the Tuesday edition. We've not done a full stretch of streams like this since the good old NBA Top Shot day. Still a ton of things to go over, but generally speaking, outside of art, NFTs, it's been relatively quiet in the markets. Have seen a downturn today. If you've seen some of the political news, seems like that's wrapping up. Might have been a flash crash of sorts, but let's get into things as per usual. So, Yatsu from Animoca Brands just ripping Wikipedia apart. You want a free and accessible internet, yet you don't accept the digital free currency of the world, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But you're going to have all these other sites that have various transaction fees. Crazy. All the call outs. I don't know. I think it's a good point. Yo, Believins, what's going on? How are we doing? Yo, I seen that tweet from Futureverse. Believins like, oh, baby, we're getting that extra prize. Love to see it. Hope you're doing well, good sir. It's funny timing, too. So, again, just everybody's wanting payments in whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, if we have this currency, can we transact in this currency? Please! And thank you. G Money highlighting that his CryptoPunks, he's been taking a loan out for it to be able to, muck around in NFTs and crypto and whatnot. And he's saying AAA blue chips will moon this cycle. And I kind of agree. Anytime we get the leverage involved, things get crazy. Things get really crazy. So something to watch. Now, speaking of our one and favorite Root Network, Paul Barron. So I do have to say, every time I've ever used a clip from Paul Barron, they like DMCA the video and you can't like put ads on it. I've stopped putting ads on all the videos, by the way, because I'm like, listen, if we ever get to like 500 plus views a video, sure. But yeah, there's no reason to do it as of right now. However, anytime I use a clip from this guy, he tries to ban me. That being said, he keeps shilling Root Network. Why is Paul consistently shilling Futureverse?
Further into this, when you look at the ecosystem overall, we've talked about Root before. This may be one that is quietly starting to explode. We are going to see some things, I think, changing within the Root network. One of the things, of course, that they're featuring is their launch on December 5th, so another timing scenario that could play up right here. All right, so there has been this trend over the past week that has been going into AI agents. We've seen a lot of AI tokens already.
Does he talk about Futureverse with the rest of this? No, it was only on the beginning of it. Oh, he goes back. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I cut the clip a little bit earlier, but Shen also mentioning from the Tradeverse that AI agents are coming for the Root network, people using XRP. I still think the whole realization that those networks are connected in a way, I think, are going to be kind of crazy. The video, yeah. Hold on, let me go back to the middle of that, and we'll replay it because I interrupted.
This trend over the past week that has been going into AI agents. We've seen a lot of AI tokens already. Started to do a lot of things in terms of performance. And it looks like if you look at just some of the performance that's happened just in a short period of time, all of this is potentially coming into Root Network, could be happening very shortly. So now we're going to be able to launch AI agents using XRP. So another benefit within that ecosystem overall. Further into this, when you look at the ecosystem overall, we've talked about Root before. This may be one that is quietly starting to explode.
Oh, sorry, it's replaying that. It's funny that Chen follows him, but Paul Bear doesn't follow back. That's crazy. Now, okay, for like argument's sake, because we've always tried to put like both sides of it. I think we've seen AI agents launch on everything, right? From Solana to Base. It's happening everywhere. And what's going to be different with these? What's going to drive more attention? Is it just going to be super saturated and it doesn't really matter? What happens? I think we like the narrative, but I'm very, optimistically cautious on how all of that kind of rolls out. And there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers a part of it. But if you're paying attention, you can find the good things in life. And if you've been watching the stream, we highlighted something the other day. If you remember, I'll re-highlight. Yo, I'm Dolly. What's going on, my man? Spirit DAO sweeping Nizuki soon? I quoted with a question mark. These are the most recent sales out of 97. So there's only 97 of these. These are kind of like an elite group, I guess, for lack of a better term. But this was because on the 30th, The spirit now said it's time to pay attention to Azuki. And I thought an Azuki was going to be swept. Well, I guess they decided to go out and at least buy one of the spirits, or somebody decided to join the spirit crew, picking it up for 100 Ethereum. And then going back to the original highlight of the stream, where we had the monkey CryptoPunk who was being leveraged. I mean, how many people can do that with the spirit Azukis? Certain things are going to be able to be levered in such a way. And will be fun to watch how that shapes up. And if you're really paying attention on the timeline, you can find some shenanigans, if you will. But Archik highlighting this post from Rational Gaze saying, shout out to on-chain sleuth Rational Gaze, who knew tier 1 exchange listings were on the way for MOG days ago after seeing Wintermute aggressively accumulating. Now, you might not be somebody that goes and watches the blockchain, whatever chain it may be, but some of them do, and they post out the alpha. Somebody who's scooping up MOG before gets listed like today. The signs were there. Of course, I don't hold any. But still, it's crazy to think that Nike, a multi-billion-dollar brand, bought Artifact and drove it to the ground in the same time Luca Nets, a random dude, bought Pudgies and turned it into a brand. Have you noticed anytime we've got these corporations involved in things, it seems like it just doesn't work? Now, Whale.Swoosh put out a very interesting thread here that was breaking down some of the happenings within Artifact throughout its history, so we'll quickly read it. Here is the story of the rise and fall of a billion-dollar company in just 3 years. A story of alleged insider trading, broken promises, and outright lies. It's December 2021. The NFT bull market is in full swing, and one of the most hype mints ever is on the horizon. CloneX by Artifact, a brand that had already attracted attention through numerous collabs in Web3. But the mint was not running perfectly. Technological difficulties and FUD. The hype died down a little bit. Floor price dropped below the 2 ETH mint price, which I don't even remember it being 2 ETH. I saw somebody on the timeline yesterday mention this, and I went to some of the early transactions of just random CloneXs, and a couple of them were like 0.08, which was like the same price of BAYC. So if they actually minted at 2 ETH, legitimately nothing minted for that high of a price point back then, so I guess there were signs. But something was coming. Big news seems to have been leaked. Insiders teased a big announcement. A few days later, it happened. Nike acquired Artifact. Floor price skyrocketed, and in the weeks and months that followed, Artifact was to deliver more monetary value to holders than almost any other NFT project in history. Monolith, Space Pods, PodX, numerous airdrops that made holders big amounts of money. And the CloneX floor price also reached new highs. At the peak, a single $7.5 thousand CloneX mint turned into an aggregated value of $150,000 US. Now, on this post here, there's a few different things, and sorry it's kind of small to see, but there were space pods, and these were actually really cool. It had the likes of like the Nike logo, Jordan, all this other thing, and you could put certain NFTs in there and actually walk around in this meta space. They had these monolith cubes that people thought were going to be amazing, and I think it turned out to be like a coupon to buy a pair of shoes, but people were paying thousands for it, thinking it was going to be very valuable, but I think he gets into that. But with the bear market, Artifact then lost traction. More and more delays, broken promises, and more expensive paid forges for merch. Main criticism, CloneX holders are just customers to Artifact, which was what we highlighted yesterday. The founder fighting with people saying, yo, everything you've been doing is like extractive. And again, not everything in NFT is supposed to make you money. I totally get that. The whole Web3 notion, it's not a great perspective. But again, you paid something for like 2 ETH. You have these different drops of things, and every single drop after that, you have to like continually pay for things. It just kind of feels bad. And I don't think people have a problem with paying for things. It's just like, what's the price point that you have to pay them at as well? And is it a public mint? Is it exclusive for holders, etc.? Mints for new projects like Animus that didn't release for more than a year, and Artifact's cardinal sin, Monolith 2. Monolith 2 was hyped for months, only to end up being a coupon that allowed holders to spend even more money on Artifact's crypto kicks, which one of the fallouts from this might be, in like, this is kind of like a good thing in a way, those early shoes getting more value, right? All these things now are just like a historical art piece, and maybe that's bullish, because we saw with CryptoPunks, they tried doing stuff for them, and the holders were like, nah. Once again, there were allegations of insider trading after low-level employees sold their Monolith 2 shortly before the announcement. Spicy. The announcement tanked the floor of all Artifact assets and also alienated longtime holders. The team, and especially the co-founders, became more and more defensive, and we highlighted this yesterday. Like, they were insanely defensive on the timeline. In addition to that, they made some unfortunate comments in the weeks and months that followed, where this is one of the founders ripping on Luca Netz for being in Walmart, saying, "From Sotheby's to Walmart, Web3 future is bright." Emoji. Can we call it the emoji? I don't. It's more like the Kawhi Leonard laugh emoji. You know what I mean? From then on, Artifact was no longer the same. Sales for all merch drops fell short of expectations, while other projects became more and more professional. Artifact continued to lose traction. When CloneX was making waves, then primarily for community-owned initiatives, almost no other NFT project was as rich and talented as the CloneX community. So I have this video saved a little bit later, but let me play the beginning of this because it highlights how quality the CloneX avatars were, and to Whale's point, how good the community was, or at least specific members in terms of talent. We'll watch about like 60 seconds.
In a world of endless curiosity and innovation, we break expectations to unveil our true selves. With relentless passion, we sculpt our own destiny. Engineered by a mysterious scientist, endowing them with an extraordinary hive mind that unites their consciousness.
Hold on a second. M. Tolly says this doesn't look great. Okay, sir, show me what you think looks good. I think this looks awesome. I think it's cool that you see like a world completely dedicated within a certain style. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I think it's really cool. M. Tolly coming in with the fun. I'd love to see it. Yo, Castell, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Fast forward a few months and Choose Rich Nick dropped a bombshell. Artifact was to shut down at the end of the year, which he got absolutely crucified for at the time. Even the co-founders denied it in public. And this is where my post yesterday was like, man, like, if the team knew this was happening, like, shame on them, right? Like, there was obviously a couple of different employees that were there that had no idea, but the leadership team, from like the certain attitude to like denying all of this stuff, like, I don't know, it just seems weird. As we learned on our breaking news spaces from an insider, apparently against their better judgment, they allegedly knew all about it at all. Wait, okay, let me reread. They allegedly knew all about it at the time, which would mean they knowingly misled both their community and employees. And like, yeah, that's tough. That's tough and super shitty to hear. This year, some roadmap items were quickly ticked off, including the Animus reveal 605 days after the mint. You can see below in the promised activation for crypto kicks. Now, this is, you know, on the FUD side of Antali, this, when Project Animus came out, I was like, I don't know, like these things, Artifact is like had some cool things, but the Animus eggs were not it. Allegedly to protect Artifact against legal liabilities for promises made at the sale. So that seems that they wanted to end things sooner, if possible. Yesterday, the announcement that Artifact will be shutting down in January 2025 in plain language. The team is no longer working on the project. While the NFTs and the blockchain live on, it's over at the project level. Artifact was one of the shining stars of the 2021-22 NFT era, the potential frontrunner when it came to mainstream adoption with seemingly unlimited marketing power with Nike. And that was a huge selling point. But over time, they lost more and more of what made them strong in the beginning. So while all of this might not be too surprising in hindsight, I'll miss Artifact, I'll miss CloneX as a nostalgic project of the NFT boom. And I mean, we'll probably still see it on the timeline, people rocking the profile of it. But whale.mocha, another phenomenal thread. And there's your recap. And that was the video we watched a little bit earlier. But this spurred so many different conversational points where people are bringing up like older collections. Wicked Ape Bone Club. This was a collection that tried to rip off the whole Bored Ape Yacht Club idea. Somehow it got like 7,000 ETH. I think I sold one for an absolute bag at a point, and it was like, these are stupid as hell. But if you get in early on some of these things, whatever the narrative kicks off, Boki, I couldn't tell you. That got like 12,000 ETH. All these NFTs got mad volume. Anything that was like 3D related back in the day seemed to like not ever work. Shiba Social Club official collection. I have never heard of it, but 7,000 volume. Tasty Bones, I've heard of that. Again, I don't really know what it was supposed to do, but 11,000 total volume, like crazy, crazy amounts in general. Now, speaking of crazy, coming out today, Australia's biggest bank to charge customers for cash. I feel like we've had some different news out of Australia regarding cash in general, but I guess it's going to be like a $3 fee for getting hands on your own cash. Well, I mean, I don't know. The narrative around crypto seems to get better and better. Boshi, with a pretty funny tweet here that's quoting Hugo, who highlighted a post. I don't know if this is Reddit or some online forum, but it says, I keep seeing arguments on X about XRP not hitting Bitcoin prices because of the market cap. And then I see comments saying market cap is irrelevant to XRP prices. Can someone explain that to me or point me in the direction where I can find out myself? Thanks, from a newbie. The XRP community is learning about market caps today. And Boshi's saying they will log into Coinbase, see market caps, and then just buy whatever is the lowest. And that was the thesis for a while. I mean, when you look at certain coins, people just say, oh my God, it's the lower market cap, and they go into it. They don't care about any other aspect of it. But if some of these lower market cap coins have something actually going for them, if you go around and do your extra research, you can see. Now, on the topic of just kind of going over that, like specifically and trying to answer that question, let's just say that XRP goes to what the market cap of Bitcoin is. Let's just say that that ends up happening, right? You never know. Stranger things have happened. So that would put it at $33. But people are calling for like $10,000 XRP, right? So to put this in perspective, to XRP to get to where Bitcoin is right now, it'd be at 33,000. And then you go to the conversations we keep having of, does the crypto market cap go from 3 trillion to 100 trillion? If it does, what does these kind of things look like in general? I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's something we don't have to wait and see, right? One of the best content creator programs in the space is the Ronin Network Creator Program. This is something we've not seen a whole lot of. We've talked about a Say program a while ago. I don't remember if that was just for builders or content creators, but let's see what you are going to get for perks if you are signed up for the Ronin Network, which has Forgotten Runes. It's got Pixels. It's got Axie Infinity. Trying to think of what other big names are a part of it, but it's got a lot of players within the gaming space. So whitelist for playtests and NFT mints, early access to new products, features, and game updates, custom creator referral codes on the Axie Marketplace, paid gigs and ambassadorship opportunities, opportunities to collaborate with projects in Ronin, expand connections with various projects, builders, and creators, and amplification of your content by Ronin's growth team, Ronin, Jiho's Nix, and the Ronin community. And I think like it's super cool that this is a thing, and also to realize that a lot of these creators and builders, founders, right, like Jiho's, I mean, even Roham around Flow and Dapper, right? These people became massive, influential people where they talk about something, retweet something. It brings hundreds to thousands of eyes, depending on what it is. So not only do you have the founders, you have the teams backing certain things. And I just love this for creators in general. I think it's really, really cool. When Schiller Ronin. Listen, I got to go find my Ronin wallet. I used to do Axie Infinity a little bit back in the day, but I honestly have not touched Ronin in quite some time. Chef highlighting one of my favorite pieces from the upcoming Vandy the Pink X Pudgy Penguins collab. Now, if you're out there and you like just different collabs, I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if I'd buy this necessarily for myself, but I am excited whenever we have artist collabs within the Web3 branded space. And in 1 week, I guess there's been 577 Cool Cat sales. Holy sheesh. So that's amazing and insane. So Psyduck, who's a big influential person within the space, highlighted just a couple of their former profile pictures. So my question to you is, could you name each of these collections? So the easy one, well, I guess easy two ones here is, this is one of the 101 Cool Cats. Obviously we have the Hooded CryptoPunk. Down here, I believe this is a Claynosaur. The Node Monkeys from Bitcoin. These are the, oh my God, D-Gods. I don't know why I was going to forget that there. And then this is the Wicked Craniums. And with the crown, and you can tell kind of each of these, whether it be the skin, the style, the one of one, the hooded. This guy wants to show value off. Kind of cool to see. Virgin Voyages become the first cruise line to accept Bitcoin for payments. We talked about Wikipedia not accepting it. We have the Virgin Voyages. I'm telling you, interested in the Virgin Voyages? My guy. I'm just kidding. You're great. Okay. ZombieBit saying the space is beyond boring at this point. I don't know. It seems kind of entertaining, right? We've been able to do this almost every single day. It's been massively wild. I don't know if this is like from a point of view of like they're maybe not holding anything within space, not in projects that are doing things. Not exactly sure, but I feel like things have happening a lot. You know what I mean? Use Virgin Mobile for data? Hell yeah. Yo, you might even get a discount. Phenomenal. So somebody sold a Blue Beam Bored Ape for $213,000. And it's odd, you know, saying this out loud, I'm starting to think like, how many people could be just like on YouTube or scrolling on Twitch, they click on this video and this weird guy is talking to them about a Blue Beam Bored Ape. One, do they even know what a Bored Ape is? Do they know what like a Blue Beam is? And like, is there actually any significance other than the fact that like people are paying more for certain traits? People are saying this is an absolute steal, but $213,000, do you want the NFT or do you want $213,000? That is the question. I'll take you on a throwback to August 12th of 2021. Kevin Rose, I guess, put a piece in the New York Times titled, "I joined a Penguin NFT club because apparently that's what we do now." Okay, one, wasn't he involved in Moonbirds? Was this before? This had to have been before Moonbirds came around. Why is the article so long? And I don't remember Pudgy's being that relevant until Luca took over. Now, my memory could be serving me completely wrong on this, but I don't remember Pudgy's having like that same kind of spotlight because at the time, if we're getting super specific, there was a collection called like Party Penguins, and I think Pranksy, maybe some other whale that was like shilling it. And on the timeline, it was almost like the Alien Boy Summer. If you remember, there was I'm a Degen, Alien 3D, and then there was the Alien Boy, which was like the 2D smaller alien avatars. And then we had the Penguin War, and those were probably the only two aliens and penguins. And that's super weird that I even remember that back in the day. But history lessons are phenomenal out here. So I get this message almost every single day, probably about 5 to 10 times a day. If you guys have this and it gets super annoying for you, just know that you can go into your settings and turn off any notifications from somebody that doesn't follow you. I leave it open just because I'm kind of aware and I can, you know, you just go through and you block the person. But if you get any kind of scam messages like that, just be super aware. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. Just nope, and nope. Audius 2024 is coming to an end. What was the most influential album of the year? Probably something with Taylor Swift. True. That being said, guys, where's the narrative for music and blockchain? I haven't seen it. We've been talking about gaming. We've been talking about memes. We've been talking about everything under the sun, but I have not seen a narrative being built up around music on the blockchain, removing the middlemen. That it felt like it was kind of a thing a few years ago, and then it just fell off the face of the earth. And Audius was one of the first movers within that, and I started my timeline the other day, so thought I would mention that because you guys got to start writing, make up those narratives. At the beginning of the stream, we talked about how the art space is really, really picking up here in the last week. We can look and see all these different things from Fidenzas to Ringers, Terraform, Squiggles. Somebody bought a Squiggle today for 309 ETH. Why? Probably a wash sale, but either way, yay. Things are flying. And is this kind of like a sector rotation where we have just the general NFTs make a move? We have XRP moving at a point. We had Bitcoin move prior. ETH is going to do something at some point, not yet, but soon. True, probably, maybe. Is it all really just a rotation? Is it really all just a rotation? So Ben J. Nassim, if you guys watch the Flank Call of Duty at all, he's just talking about like him streaming today, but he used a Pudgy Penguin gif. And I'm like, I know Ben J's in crypto. I posted clips of the Flank talking about crypto before, and I'll keep you informed if we see more of that. But is this a sudden hint that Ben J. Nassim has a Pudgy Penguin? Probably not, but maybe. Pokemon trading card game Pocket is estimated to have generated more than $200 million in revenue in NFTs. In just revenue for its digital assets in its first month. I don't know. If any network says we're partnered with Pokemon, 1048, break, we got a Houston here, we're off for takeoff. That is just going to absolutely send whatever network says a part of it. To be totally honest, it feels also like Pokemon might just create its own thing because that's how big of an entity it is. But 200 million just off the Pocket game they created. Insane in a single month. Sheesh. We had a point before, and it feels like it's kind of trailed off a little bit, but I noticed this and I thought it was interesting, where collections used to vie for attention of other ones. And they would say, here's a whitelist, here's a perk of some sort, and Illuvium just posted this thing saying, hey, Pudgy Penguins fam, we're bringing the cooler vibes to the Illuvium universe with an exclusive Pudgy Penguins x Illuvium emote just for you. If you held a Pudgy Penguin or a Lil Pudgy NFT during the snapshot, it's time to claim your icy flare. So you can get a Pudgy Penguin emote within the Illuvium game if you hold one of those. Those are kind of cool. I'm assuming the emotes can be traded on secondary. Maybe they're account bound. I don't actually know. But we also saw another announcement from Illuvium where they partnered with G-Shock. So the watch. How far do we have to go down to find the watch? I think it's right here. And so this was the same thing that we saw Doodles do very recently. I'm not sure why G-Shock is partnering with like everybody within Web3, but it does showcase a brand that's open to Web3. And does that make you think, hey, maybe I want to go out and buy a G-Shock watch if I'm buying a watch just for the sake of it? We highlighted stimulus checks. We're not talking from the government. We're talking about from Web3 projects. Nifty Island, every community. Infinite Islands, one token. The dream of an open game world powered by Web3 will be fulfilled. On 12/17, Island token generating event arrives. So, Magic Eden, Abstract, point system, or token drop for OpenSea. Anime coins soon for Azuki. We're cooking. We are cooking. But I have to admit, I played like Nifty Island for like the first week when it did the point system, and then I haven't touched it since. True. Just in 443 million liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 12 hours. Now, obviously, this had a lot to do with the political event that happened earlier this morning. But this is why we don't leverage trade. 443 million liquidated. Oh my God. And I posted this yesterday, but quit re-highlighting on the timeline today. Everybody getting banned from Coinbase these days. Once again, I was just ahead of the curve. And then he recounts the story from like 10 years ago where he had issues with Coinbase. I don't know what's going on with Coinbase. I've seen so many people saying, I'm locked out of my account. I can't trade anymore. All of these issues. So again, like the whole self-custody thing, obviously with Coinbase, it's an on and off ramp for people. I don't know if you want to use smaller amounts of funds if you're off ramping, but I genuinely have never seen more issues on my timeline about Coinbase in my entire like 4-year stretch within this industry. Besides like the last week, it's been unheard of, and I have no idea why it's happening. Completely confused. If you sold your Ute, which is one of the collections from the DGod team, before they ended up bridging to Polygon and held that soul, you'd have 1.2 million right now. One, that's a lot. Two, that does bring up a good point. What if tokens move and NFTs stand still? We've seen a lot of traction over NFTs, but what if the inverse ends up happening after all? That's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Thank you so much for tuning on in. We'll be back tomorrow as per usual. I do want to give a little bit of a highlight, though. If you enjoy Rolling Loud, the concert, they do have lifetime tickets that are NFTs. You might not know that. I'm not giving it away free, but we did sit down with the person who's the head of Web3 at Rolling Loud for the RWA Segments podcast. If you check the link in the YouTube description or on my bio on X for the RWA Segments podcast, we break it down. They talk about their holdings in Ethereum, and they also mentioned within there that they use the Token Proof app, which Yuga Labs just acquired from the Token Proof team, or at least the Token Proof technology. And it's like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. So we got big players, more insight. Would love for you guys to check that out. And then next week's episode, I just did another recording this morning with a security expert from Kerberos. And wow, phenomenal episode. That'll come out too. Would love for you guys to check that out. But that's it for me. I'm Tolly. Thank you so much for coming on through. Castell as well. And the one and only Believins. Thank you, good sir. And hopefully you mint out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a good one. Peace.